Hey, what's up, fellas? How we doing? Man, Antonelli here. Today, answering questions for you guys. Today's question is on being a free agent. What is free agency like? What happens? How does it all go down? How do the negotiations take place? And so, I was a free agent one, two, three years. Um, and so I've got a little bit of experience doing it. And so I'll walk you guys kind of through the process and kind of how it took place. So I became a free agent for the first time after, 5 years with the Padres. So I was '06, '07, '08, '09, and 10, all with the San Diego Padres. And what happened was, after the 2010 season, I spent the whole year in the major leagues. I was injured for the entire season, but I was technically on the roster for the whole year. I had two surgeries on my hand and on my wrist, so I wasn't able to play the entire season. When that season ended, I was non-tendered, which I can't even tell you the actual definition of being non-tendered, but essentially what it is they were not going to offer me I guess a major league contract, I think it is. And so I became a free agent, and I could choose to go wherever I wanted. I had just come off a year where I was injured the whole year, and then the year before that, I was injured for a good amount of the season, and the year before that, I hadn't played very well. So I was coming off three kind of not very good seasons, and so I was still relatively young. I think I was probably 26-ish, probably around 26. I guess that isn't it's kind of young. But when you're looking at the minor leagues, at that point I'd only had, I'd spent a little more than a year in the major leagues, but only had really technically had about a month of experience actually playing. And so for the minor leagues, I guess I was a little bit old. And so there wasn't a ton of interest on the free agent market for me. How it works is typically your agent is going to handle a lot of the negotiations. He's going to talk to a lot of the teams. And so that first year, I really didn't talk to anyone. He kind of just kept me up to date during the off season of how things were going. I'd say we probably started talking to teams. The season ends, and for the minor league season, the season ends in September. I was on the major league team with the Padres that year, and so our season ended basically the end of September. So let's say October. I think I probably found out I was non-tendered probably about a month later. I actually remember I was eating at a Mexican place at home, and I remember getting a call from my agent saying that I was just non-tendered and basically I was going to be a free agent. And so he told me just to kind of, he wanted to let me know and give me a heads up, and then start to think about if what I wanted to do. The Padres were one of the teams that was interested in bringing me back on a minor league, basically, I guess, a minor league contract. And in the end, I decided to sign with the Washington Nationals. I kind of think I needed a fresh start. I'd been hurt for a long time. I had a bunch of, I wasn't playing well. And, I thought it'd be a good idea to get a fresh start with the Nationals. So I ended up signing with the Nationals. Again, my agent did most of the talk. I ended up signing a minor league deal. I can't remember the exact amount my salary was, but it was the highest I'd signed for out of any other season in the minor league. So got paid more than I did when I was on the 40-man in the minor leagues for the Padres. And so again, he handled all those negotiations. I literally don't remember talking to anyone. So I signed with them, played a year with them, played pretty well, made the AAA All-Star team, didn't get called up at all. That season ended up getting another surgery, so I almost made it through the year without a surgery, but got one basically right at the end of the season. So after putting together a pretty good year, I hit around 300. I think I was second in the league, I think, in on-base percentage. So a lot of things that I was good at prior to that season, I did really well. And so then there was more interest. And that year I ended up taking a lot more of the responsibility as far as communicating with teams. So at that point, the year before there wasn't a ton of interest. This year there was a lot of interest as far as signing me to a 40-man roster spot. So ended up talking with the Orioles, the Indians, the Yankees. I think those were the three top teams that I really spent the most time talking to. And in most instances I spoke with the general managers of each team. Except for the Yankees, I didn't speak with Brian Cashman at all that year. So I spoke with Dan Duquette a lot. He was the first person to actually call me when I became a free agent. So I talked a lot with him. I talked with Chris Antonelli from the Indians a decent amount. And then with the Yankees, I feel like my agent actually spoke mostly with the Yankees that year. But it came down at the very end to those three, and then it came down to the Orioles and the Indians, and we kind of went back and forth, and it was a tough decision for me. Orioles ended up offering me a 40-man roster spot, so did the Indians. And at that point, it kind of came down to trying to look at the rosters and see kind of where I thought, and my agent thought that I fit best and had the best chance to make a team and hopefully contribute on the Major League roster. And so, like I said, I did a lot of the talking then. I was the one that was speaking with them pretty much every day. My agent was the one that was kind of negotiating the stuff as far as the contract or telling them kind of what we wanted from each team. And so mostly my talking was just to get a feel from the team and hearing, okay, where do I fit in? What are my chances of playing at either the Major League level or AAA, or what positions they wanted me to play. And so getting a feel for that, and I think also for them getting a feel for me, what type of person I was, and all that stuff. And so ended up choosing the Orioles that year. And went to Baltimore, didn't play really well in spring training. I had surgery that offseason, I think I said that already. It was a really poor offseason for me looking back. I think I was in a cast for a decent amount of the offseason, then I was rehabbing the rest of it. I think I was only able to pick up a bat, I think, like a week or so before spring training, so I wasn't able to really train at all, wasn't able to work out at all. It was just a really bad offseason. And didn't play well in spring training. Went to AAA, didn't get a ton of. I got playing time, I just wasn't like a everyday starter. I'd play a couple games, hit a couple games. I think I ended up hitting like, I don't even know, low to mid 200s, I think. Ended up getting taken off the 40-man roster and got claimed by the New York Yankees, and that was about 2 months into the season. So I ended up finishing the season out with the Yankees. After that season, became a free agent again. I only had a 1-year deal that I signed there. And this time around, there again wasn't a ton of interest for me as far as free agency goes because I was injured a lot. Ended up did I get another surgery that year? I think I did. Yeah, I believe I did get another surgery that season. Another wrist surgery. So surgery was starting to pile up. Didn't play very well that season for either team. Was injured a lot. Kind of the story of my career. And then that year, again, I didn't speak a lot in free agency. I kind of waited for my agent to kind of tell me what was going on. So it seems, at least in my experience, that when you have a good season and there's a lot of teams interested and teams are kind of trying to not so much fight for you, but there's a bunch of teams interested, and so they're trying to sell you a little bit more on signing with them. That's where I felt like I took more part in the conversation. And again, it typically was with the general managers because we were looking at 40-man roster spots. The years I played poorly, this year now, my final year, I spoke with the Indians. I spoke with who else was it? There was a couple teams. Again, I didn't speak with them this year. My agent spoke with them. It was the Indians. It was the Pirates, I think. There was one other team. So there weren't a ton of teams. Ended up signing with the Indians. They were the most interested. Part of it also was that they were really interested the year before, so I knew they kind of liked me, and there was a history of them kind of pursuing me, and so I thought that was going to be a good opportunity. I ended up signing with the Indians. I actually played really, really well in spring training. At least I thought I did. I don't know. Sometimes it's tough to tell. I thought I played well. The numbers indicated that I did, but I think there were some things that I did that they weren't excited about. I think they wanted me to be able to play a little bit more shortstop. I think they saw me more as a utility type guy. And to be honest, I kind of sucked at shortstop in my professional career. I didn't really play my first 5-6 years, and then all of a sudden had to start playing shortstop. I was a second baseman. And I just wasn't very good at it. And so I think that hurt. And that was kind of towards the end of my career there. I got put on the Phantom DL. We talked about it a bunch in past videos, so go back and check those out. And then I got released, and then nobody wanted me anymore, so I stopped playing and then became a coach. And here we are, making videos. So that's kind of how the free agent process went for me, as far as how much I did for talking and how much my agent did. And so hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of insight into how exactly it works I wish I could have told you that, I was signing $100 million deals and all this stuff, but it didn't happen that way. So let me know if you have any more questions in the comment section below. I'll help you guys out. If you have any new questions, please send them in. I'm trying to answer as many questions as I can for you guys, make as many videos as I can. Subscribe to the channel if you're not done so already. Give us a thumbs up. Share the video with all your friends. I'd appreciate that. Check out the description box below. I've got a bunch of stuff in there that I think you guys will enjoy. And that's all I got. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later.